I had to like literally contemplate how I was going to go about with discussing discussing this particular story right here. Now, a couple of my followers tagged me in the post. I actually found out about this well before the actual story really got out there, before there was really any information. So I didn't want to jump right onto it as soon as I found out about this video. But now that I have additional information, I can speak on it. But what you're looking at right now is a picture of a man by the name of David Stephen Bell. He's 51 years old, and that's his mugshot right there on the right. On the left is the clip, not a clip, but a picture from the video that was recorded. And I'm going to leave the link to the full video down in the description, because some people are passing around just a part of the video that's leaving some stuff out. So basically what happened was, in Asheville, North Carolina, at a mall, there was a serious altercation that happened between him and this 11-year-old black girl. And to be honest, I didn't even know that the girl was 11 until they said that she was, because in the video she looks or appears physically older, and she was a black girl. So I'm hearing conflicting things about this, but one thing that I keep hearing is that something happened. They were at a mall, they came out of the mall, and it was like a group of people around, like a group of kids. And my first thing is, why are there a group of kids at this mall and they're 11 and 12 years old? Where are their parents, or where is a guardian that's over the age of 18? Why are all these kids just scattered around like this at a mall? And it was like a group of them, like almost like a pack mob thing. And he, the video starts where he's outside. They're constantly, it looks like they have him surrounded. Now what I keep hearing is that he was there with his wife and his family, and that his wife, if you look in the video, was the one that was kind of standing behind him, and they had their child. Now another thing I kept hearing was that some of the people that was in that group was harassing his daughter or harassing his family. That's what I heard, and that's what led up to the entire incident. So what happened was, after that, is they constantly talking to him. They're yelling at the guy. He's surrounded, and then he has his back turned, and then all of a sudden, the girl, one person comes from behind and just pushes him, and then that person that pushed him was the one that he got into the physical altercation with. So what he ends up doing is he pushes her back, and he pushes her hard. Now, let me remind you, this girl is 11 years old. She's probably all of maybe less than 130 pounds, and probably all of 5'1". This guy is like 6'5", and probably 250. So what happens after he pushes her, and he pushes her so hard that she literally goes flying back. She doesn't fall. She still stands up, and she goes flying back a few feet. So what she does is she gets emboldened by the group that she's with, and she starts to run up to the guy like she's about to punch him. Like she goes into a fighting stance, like she's about to punch this guy. And before she can even really get one swing off, he nearly knocks her head off. Like he punches her so hard that she literally goes flying into the pavement. Like she doesn't even have enough time to catch herself with her hands. Like her head goes smack into the pavement. So I know she's feeling that right now from the hit, and probably from the hit to the ground. She's feeling that right now. And then after that, you hear the people, they're just going crazy, and then the camera cuts off. But after that happens, he gets arrested, and they charge him with assault of a person under the age of 12. Now, I will say that yes, he deserves to get hit with that particular charge. I mean, I knew he had to have known it was going to charge him anyway. He knew that was going to happen, because there's no way they were going to just let that fly, especially since it was caught on camera. Now, I will say this, and this is not me defending the guy. This can apply to anyone. I don't know what she was thinking, where she is that short and that small in physical appearance, think that she was going to do to this guy who was that tall and that big. Imagine Kane and the Big Show combined together. That was this guy. If you watch wrestling, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Even if you don't watch wrestling, you know which two people I'm talking about. What did she think she was going to do to this guy? First off, he has height on her, so that means she would have had to jump up just to hit his face. Two, he has physical dominance over her. One, if you would think that after that one push, she would have stopped. That one push was hard enough, but when she came back and went into that fighting stance, like she was ready to attack, it was like a gazelle trying to attack a lion, and you already know how that ends. Like I said, this is not me defending the guy, but she should have been very smart. She should have been smarter than that. See, we live in a time where you have a lot of people telling these girls that they are equal to boys or equal to men, and that they can do this, that, and the third to men, stuff like that. And then when they try it and they run up on the wrong person like she did, this is what ends up happening. And then none of her friends came to her defense. She's literally out there trying to fight this guy by herself. And they all standing around. And the minute that he hit her, that's when everyone wanted to scatter. So some friends she has, if those are her friends, I wouldn't really call them friends. Because if they were true friends, they would have said, look, just let it go. Don't escalate the situation. You know what the situation also reminds me of? If y'all remember a couple years ago in New York on that train, where that bouncer had that 8-ball jacket on, and you had that the black female. She was, of course, older than this girl in this video. She got into it with this guy who was a bouncer. I'm sure he had a long night. He didn't want to be bothered, but they kept making fun of him because of his accent. And I think he was like Puerto Rican or maybe Dominican, so the accent, it could be thick. And they were talking about him. And they just kept talking about him and talking about him. And then he called the girl a bitch. So she got mad, and then she smacked him on the back of his head. He turned around and smacked her so hard the entire train heard that smack, and then they wanted to come and try to fight him because he defended himself. Well, the good thing about that is he ended up not being charged, but they ended up hitting her as well as everyone else who attacked that guy after that, because it was like the same mob mentality. He was by himself, and it was her friends, and it was probably about 7 to 10 of them, and they all tried to come at him, but nothing happened. But they ended up charging her with assault, which was rightfully so, because she did assault him first. She hit him first, and then her other friends jumped in and tried to attack him and fight him, but then they didn't stand a chance because, like I said, this guy's a bouncer. He has physical endurance over all of them. Even if some of them were the same height, it wouldn't have mattered because he is a bouncer, and so he most likely works out. So he has that muscle endurance. So one swing off of him, he's lucky that he just slapped her and didn't hit her with a closed fist, because he would have probably broke her jaw. That's how hard the slap was. So it's a thing where you have a lot of women, and unfortunately a lot of black women out here, black females in general, think that they can put their hands on any and everybody. And I think where they get that from is they're seeing a lot of black women put their hands on a black man, and they see that, and they think they can do whatever they want. Listen, to all the black women out there listening, if you have daughters, please tell them not to run up on no dude, especially one that they have no physical dominance over. Now, the one difference that between this and the one in Florida with the young lady who worked at the McDonald's was two things. One, this guy was not in physical appearance that strong, you could tell. And number two, this girl had boxing training. Her family trained her in boxing, so she knew how to connect her hits. And even then, if she was to if the altercation was to happen with a guy like this size, she probably would have been like, no, I'm not going, this is not my fight, unless she had an advantage. But this girl had no advantage over this guy. So for her to run up on him like she was about to swing, which she was, that was not good. And then I'm seeing people leave comments and everything like that. Say she's a girl. She's an 11-year-old girl. Yeah, we know that she's 11. We know that. But at the end of the day, she should have been taught not to run up on a dude, especially one Sorry about that. I got cut off. But yeah, what I was saying was, don't run up on someone that has that more endurance over you. Like I said, I know she's a girl, but look at all the people that was surrounding them, and that pack and mob mentality. That's exactly what what was going on. A lot of people saying, walk away. They tell the guy to just walk away, call the police and everything like that. Some of y'all must have not been surrounded by a pack or a mob mentality before to understand how a lot of that stuff really can work, and how in most cases it may not end well for you, especially if you are surrounded by a lot of people. But like I said, if there's any more updates that come from this, and I'm sure there will be, I'll try to do my due diligence to follow this story. But y'all let me know what y'all think of this so far down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one. Okay, here's an update that was sent to me by Coca 2005 involving the incident that happened at that Asheville Mall in North Carolina. And this is exactly why I wanted to wait to upload this video, because I knew that there was going to be some more stuff to come out about it. Now, I have to correct myself from the initial commentary before this update. There wasn't an altercation between the man's daughter and those girls. Apparently, according to this article, he was trying to break up a fight between the girls that were surrounding him, and that's when everything ensued after the fact. This is exactly why you find that a lot of people do not like to get involved with trying to break up a fight, even though, they're trying to break up an altercation, trying to do the Good Samaritan thing, because then this is exactly what can end up happening. Something else that this article also stated is that he was released from jail, he was released on a bond, and it said he was released to charge him with something. Whether the charges are going to stick or not, I'm not entirely sure about that. But Coca 2005 also just sent me another article involving this. Like, it's so much stuff coming out about this. That's why I said I decided to wait. And it says that he had PTSD. Sorry for the cutoff at the last part, but there was another article that was sent to me too, saying that he uh has PTSD. I'm not sure what that's really all about, but whatever. It's like I said, there's so much stuff coming out about this, but one thing that did stick out to me in that particular article was saying that he has a court date on February the 5th. So if anything else comes out about this particular story, y'all let me know and we can go from there. If not, then I guess we'll just have to continue doing updates for this one when it comes about on the 5th. But y'all let me know what y'all think now of these updates that I have just recently sent you concerning this story, and I will talk to you in the next one.